Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him right on back. So today's special return guest is Ray Sclafani, and he's the founder and CEO over at Clientwise. Ray, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Adam. Glad to be here.
Oh, man, so it's great to have you back on the show. It's kind of like I'm getting my old podcast family back together again, see what everybody's going through. And I'm excited about today's topic that you proposed, by the way. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to help a lot of people. So leadership during periods of uncertainty. I know you work with a lot of financial advisors, and I know they're navigating some rocky waters right now. But before we get into that, I don't want to assume that all of our new listeners caught the first episode. So let's just start off with an overview of what you're doing over at Clientwise, please.
Sure thing. Well, our firm is the premier business coaching firm for the entrepreneurial advisor, that financial professional who's committed to helping their clients multi-generationally and those advisors who are building enduring firms.
What are the so a lot of advisors listening right now, and what are typically the right types or the right fit for Clientwise, just so that the right people know if they're the ones that should be following up with you later?
Yeah, I think there are two key ingredients. One is they're entrepreneurial. They are willing to build interdependent teams and willing to scale and grow to build enterprise value. And number two, they're not only entrepreneurial, but they're also committed to building an enduring firm, one that is multi-generational. You see, Adam, our firm Clientwise believes that this is a noble profession. You know, when you make a difference in the life of one client, you make a difference multi-generationally. And when you build a wildly successful business, you make a difference multi-generationally and transform communities. So those advisors that are taking that long-term, enduring view and are entrepreneurial in nature are really the right fit for our firm.
That's awesome. And I want you to just maybe touch on enterprise value a little bit more, because some of the advisors and entrepreneurs out there listening may not really understand the value of what that concept means. And I want to make sure we don't let that one slip by, because it's important. It's an important thing to understand.
Yeah, we live in the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, and you look at small businesses, the ability to grow a business as an entrepreneur, that business has exit value. And those advisors that build something that's sustainable, that's durable, and that's profitable, build something that's of great value to clients, great value to team members, and ultimately great value to self. And so the value of that business upon exit is that enterprise value.
No, I love it. It's a great concept, great term, and sometimes that's one of the biggest arguments I have to maybe the do-it-yourself, go-at-it-alone advisor is I'm like, you're not building an enterprise value, though. It's just you. And I mean, sure, you have your book, but you don't have systems. You don't have a lot of other things there that you could really be doing even more to help more people, which is why you're doing what you're doing in the first place. So that's
right.
why I bring that up. Let's switch it up, though, Ray. I want to get into leadership during periods of uncertainty. I mean, I know you work with a lot of advisors. What kind of things are you seeing out there right now?
Well, there's as the Army War College teaches it in their training, it's a VUCA world out there. VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. There's never been a greater time. I don't think any of us have seen an epidemic go to pandemic, and an episodic event such as the coronavirus spreading around the world has shut down not only the United States, but our global economy. So this is a pretty volatile and uncertain time where things are really complex and ambiguous at the same time.
So what are advisors doing to navigate this right now? Like what kind of directions are you pointing them in terms of working with their clients, of course?
Yeah, so I think working with their clients, but also working with their teams. As business owners, they've got to be thinking about providing a clear sense of vision in times of great volatility. Everybody knows that, we're gonna come through this okay, that the capital markets just don't go to zero, and the scientists around the world are working, round the clock to develop, solutions for us. So, by providing people a clearer vision, realistically the timeline might change a bit, but clients who have entrusted their financial advisor with their financial plan have to really take a hard look at the vision that they have for themselves. These business owners have to take a clear look at their own vision of their own businesses and really readjust the plan accordingly. I think the other part of it is not just the planning and the vision piece, but it is interesting to note that the level of anxiety and uncertainty is off the charts. And there seems to be those leaders that are most effective here have an enormous sense of empathy and understanding for others, and therefore can help to transform some of this anxiety into real productive energy and help others move forward. So providing that kind of simplification and adaptability is a great way to help facilitate people moving forward while things seem to be so much standing still.
No, I love it. I mean, it makes total sense. And let's touch on some of the remote aspects of the advisors out there that are now, or the CEOs, executives out there that are now managing their internal teams that are maybe remote and they haven't necessarily done that in the past. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, it's tricky, right? All of a sudden now they've been thrust into not just working virtually and leading virtually, but also working from home virtually, leading virtually, where all of a sudden there's a homeschool structure, there's dogs and cats and, parakeets, barking and tweeting in the background. And I think I've seen it all in the last 3 weeks hosting lots of online videos. So, having a sense of sort of understanding like, okay, this is the world we're in. And probably the most important thing is not to underestimate the power of communication. I don't know where we'd be 5 years ago with so few people on video. That movement has really been a big movement, whether it's Zoom or Skype or GoToMeeting or FaceTime. Getting in front of your people, probably the most important thing I've heard from our clients is getting in front of their team members every morning in a morning huddle, even if it's 15 or 20 minutes, checking in with people face to face, asking them very simple questions like, hey, in one word, how would you describe how you feel today? Really getting a sense from team members, what's going on for them, where they're at in all of this, and then taking some of those private conversations offline one-on-one is really important here. The other thing I would make mention of is, make it fun. One of our team members suggested that we start hosting these happy hours. This is about a month ago. And sure enough, the team rallied together and they believe it or not, actually produced a menu that we're sharing with our clients, which is a lot of fun. I'm happy to share it with you. It's the happy hour, Clientwise happy hour menu. But if you're hosting an online fun get-together, after-hours happy hour with the team, we've got a menu for you, whether it's the a margarita, the penicillin, or the ghost town Manhattan. So keeping it fun, finding ways to, play remote bingo, and just keeping it real with people, because now's the time that they're looking for a way to continue to connect, but they're also looking to build deeper relationships with their team members. The other thing, I'll make one last sort of thought here for everybody, is not only that communication piece in that group setting, face-to-face, daily huddle, but it's also helping others create some kind of semblance of structure. The entrepreneurial advisor that launched January 2nd into 2020 with an exciting business plan, somewhat ambitious, really future-oriented, basically got shut down 2.5 months in. And so all of a sudden you've staffed up for growth, you've got your team well-positioned, well-trained, everybody pointed in the right direction. All of a sudden now they're working virtually, and you've got to take a quick step back. You got to stress test that business plan. You got to stress test the financials and really reevaluate what the remainder of the year is going to look like. And in doing so, you got to recalibrate the roles, the responsibilities, the focus. And what I would suggest strongly, and I'm hearing from our clients who are really succeeding here, is simplify things. In the past, if you expected a high performer to do a dozen things in the course of a week, in terms of their role and their responsibilities, their objectives, their key results, you got to make it a little bit simpler. Really focus in on the high impact activities, really simplify as much as possible, and then everybody focus on the same task. And you'll continue to get great business results with that method, but it really requires a high level of communication, high level of focus, and indeed a amount of fun along the way.
Man, that's awesome, Ray. I love it. I love what you're doing. I love that you're helping those advisors out there and really pulling for them, especially the ones that just started, January, and man, you took me through that path, and I'm like, all right, we're pulling for you out there. Keep it going. So I love it.
That's right.
Ray, that being said, great having you back on the show as always. If somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Clientwise or to get one of those menus you have going on over there, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, go to clientwise.com, and you'll see there's an info page. Feel free to reach out to us. You'll see email, homepage. Happy to have a conversation with you about your business, your future, and how you're navigating through this period of transition. Remember, it's just a period of transition. This too shall pass, and we will be more resilient and a greater nation as a result.
I love it. Thanks again, Ray, for coming on the show. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review on the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there and leave us some comments in the comment section. Love to know what kind of things and projects you're working on. And Ray, thanks again for coming back on.